natural dreams in the entire population and instead pump in synthetic dreams and nightmares. They killed my spirituality. I'm being honest.
She's talking about after World War II that the technology pretty much for targeted individuals, and pretty much of the reality we see is being controlled and manipulated by artificial intelligence at a freaking really high level. And
transdimensional, like artificial intelligence or something like that, or
yeah, where it's transdimensional, energetic, and can manipulate the weather, almost as if the Matrix is a reality in some way of what we're interfacing with.
I can dig that.
Yeah, and she's posted videos on being a targeted individual and the shit she's seen, and she just goes over it really well, where she does her fucking homework. You know what I mean? This is an hour and 32 minutes long of her dropping fucking knowledge on shit, and some people you listen to them talk and it bores you, but her, when she speaks, it's like it's still captivating. And I don't know if it's true or not, but it's still something to consider, you know. The only aspect of it I disagree with her on is like it's all just disparative, and you know, it's like we're all fucked, and they can control the birds, they can control the animals, they can control the weather, and it's like, man, where's God in all this? You know? Yeah. You can't be totally defeated. I'm sure they can manipulate weather or manipulate someone's emotions or reactions remotely. Sure. Maybe even animals, but how can you dismiss a spiritual connection you have with an animal or the earth, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like being a despair merchant, right?
Yeah, you know? But at the same time, you know, at what level can I assume that she really does know what she's talking about? I mean, if she put out an hour and 30 minutes of her going over this shit, you know, you can't knock on somebody for who really, you know, is putting forth whatever their great work is in this world, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I mean, just that I think you're right, just because the polarity of reality, or the dichotomy of evil and good, or because I don't think it's like so subjective as, you know, a lot of people think. I think there is good and evil, or I mean, you can't have one without the other, right? So they complement each other, and then you get to, and it's part of probably what the realm is that it's the program is to learn and grow your spirit, or something like that.
Well, I'll put it to you like this: Earth is the place where both realms can collide.
Are you
say it again?
picking up a whizzing sound?
No, that is strange.
I'm hearing like almost sounds like wind.
Yeah, is it my end?
I don't know. Can you like mute your mic for a second? See if what it...
All right, let's see.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a setting, if you go into your Zoom preferences, you go into Zoom and then preferences, and then you can suppress background noise.
Yep.
Turn it to high.
It's like the compressor, right? That's what it's called.
I don't know. David's not here.
Yeah, no, it should be. It'll just block off any frequency past your voice, essentially. Are you live right now?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Cool.
We are live.
Oh, let me post this shit, yo.
Oh yeah, will you play that music? Because we're talking about evil today. We're gonna,
of course,
we're gonna discuss evil.
We're gonna discuss this evil shit. You know, I'm all about it. Not saying I'm all about being evil. I'm just saying I like to pontificate on the nature of darkness. You know, it's real. I don't think this one's copyright because I think it's like, I don't think Disney owns that one yet, do they?
They can own the cells in your body. They can own the music that you sing. They can own the thoughts that you think.
That's what they want.
Evil.
Nice. Thanks for the reverb. I'm gonna go to. Do we have anyone in the? Oh, sorry. Whoa, my bad.
Yeah, we should check.
Do we have anyone in the chat yet?
Nobody, but
Okay, I'm gonna post it on Twitter. Live now.
Yes.
Okay. We are good.
Nice. I'm gonna send on the thing share.
I wish I could figure out how to get my chat going.
How do you get your chat going?
I'm trying to make, because I'm not trying to crowd my screen up. I think I got it. Something says something went wrong. What the fuck?
You know, it's the Arconic.
Well, oh wait, there it goes. Well, it's kind of strange, Jonathan. You were talking about like evil AI, basically, and they can manipulate reality, and they kind of like scan around electronics and shit like that. And then your sound has like a creepy wind to it, and then the chat goes out.
I don't know why it does. I don't hear nothing in my house.
Well, I mean, it might be fine now, or unless you're just muting it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just unmuting and then muting. Muting when I don't talk, and then unmuting to talk.
Leave it off. See if I just want to see if it's. It sounds fine now. It was just.
Okay.
It was really weird because it was like.
It was building. It picked
It was
up.
building. Yeah, it was subtle at first. It was like,
Notice the topic we were talking about,
Yeah.
and then we were talking about AI and how they're listening and everything, and then I was bringing up God, and then the wind, you know.
Yeah.
Weird, dude.
I had a really weird thing happen. It was like 2 or 3 years ago, right when it was like when me and SB Alger first started doing the RX Only Picture Show. We were setting up some electronics in the basement. You know, it was like the second or third show or something, second show maybe, and I had a couple smart TVs. I got one in the basement here. It's like a big one, and then there was another one upstairs that I had my computer hooked up to for a minute, and then I was like moving electronics and stuff around, and I was having like sort of an argument, like not really an argument, but it was like a hot conversation with my girlfriend in the kitchen upstairs next to this TV. And Sean was in the basement next to this other TV, and I could even hear it from downstairs. Our conversation right in the middle of this heated sort of not quite argument, it was playing on the TV in the basement.
What?
The speakers from the TV in the basement. Yeah. And we were like,
Wow.
That was weird.
How old was the TV? It was like an old one?
The one in the basement was like right when 55-inch TVs came out with 3D. I got it.
So it was kind of a newer one.
Like one of the newer ones back when they first came out, and then the other one was like just like Walmart, you know, like they sell these like ridiculously cheap large TVs, you know, like this big, and it's like $109. So like it's like, why wouldn't you buy it, right?
Well,
like, it's fantastic because like it's a great way to like put microphones and cameras into your home, is to piggyback it into a television set.
Yep. Well, that's why they're so cheap now on the smart TVs, because they offset all that data from spying on you.
It's all that big ABC dough.
Yeah, like the whole apparatus is such a weird fevoristic like whack job. Like it literally just like whacks off everyone's data. Oh yeah. this feverishly masturbating everyone. Like some more retarded lawnmower man.
That's just a more retarded flowers for Algernon. With a little transhuman twist in it.
Yeah, so let's go more into this. This is fascinating with this. Jonathan, what's your six on this? What do you think of? Or I guess I mean I guess you can start with the topic of evil if you want, and then move towards this grander conspiracy. But
I would say the most evil thing that you can do on this planet is to follow orders, because you're submitting your free will gift that you're given here. Manifestation of the evil is an energy vortex. If you talk to people who've experienced traumatic experiences, whether it's a fight or a murder or stabbing or a car accident or being attacked from an animal or whatever, there's energy dispersal. And I think if it's in the act of righteousness and kindness, it feeds a different energy than if it's or people who are drama riddled, and they always seem to cause problems around them. People with addictions, drug problems, stealing shit. Those tones that a wheelhouse that it's keeping them in is a perpetuation of feeding it. Same thing with warfare. And I can say from experience that when I was in Iraq, that the energy was so thick you could smell it. Like it was all over the place, and it's definitely a vortex. And then you have to think how ancient the land is, where the soil's at, the history of the land, what's the bones within the earth here. You look at battlefields like Gettysburg. It's constant paranormal activity. It's a high dispersal of energy. And then you think, well, what does this have to do with good and evil? And I think it's because it's a form of survival. That's really what it is. It's because and one of my friends that captured an EVP in Iraq, and it was a demon, and he asked him why do you haunt people, and it said to survive. That's what its response was. So
did you say he spoke with a demon?
Yeah, me and my friends in Iraq, we got an EVP. It spoke in English too, which was weird.
Did it tell you it was a demon?
Yeah. My friend was one of those weird, like, edgelord kids that like goth shit and dark doom metal, and to him, he thought the hot chick was the Frieza Bulk or whatever her name is, that was in what's her name, Waterboy, the hot girlfriend in the Waterboy, one with the pretty eyes, the
Craft.
Yeah, the craft chick. He was into her, and he would always say that he had nightmares of being amongst like a legion of dark warriors, and I guess you could tell that he had probably some type of genetic past or legacy where his family could have dabbled in that, maybe some type of witchcraft or something. But he was always into that, but it didn't ever bother him. And we had asked random questions when we were there, and one of the questions was about my friend, and my buddy asked, "Why do you haunt him in his dreams?" And it said, "To survive." And it followed up with, it said demons 3 times. It's crazy.
It said demons 3 times?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that was picked up.
Yeah, but I seen righteous shit in the Middle East too. You got to think of how ancient the land is there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think I was on either the Tigris or the Euphrates River. I don't remember which one it was. And my buddy Campbell was telling me about Jesus. And I don't claim to be a Christian, right? I think God has ways of just manifesting things to prove the existence, right? So you don't have doubt. And he said, I said, well, what's your description of what Jesus is? And he says, imagine you're a sheep and he's a sheep herder, and when you go off path and you're doing things wrong or evil, that he's there to nudge you back on the right path. And I said, that makes sense. And then no shit, maybe 30 seconds later, a random sheep herder came out of nowhere. and yeah, and I thought that was odd. So you seen both parallels of that there, but definitely an evil manifestation. It's an energy to survive.
Well, that's a really fascinating synchronicity. I mean, that I would say that's like off the charts synchronicity right there. That's like, you know, that's undeniable. You know, it's not just something like, well, that's just a coincidence.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with the death and the decay brings, just like when people encounter evil, really evil shit, and they have that smell. It's an energy, and I think real death and decay feeds it just as much.
How long were you out there? Did you do like multiple tours or?
I did 2 tours. I did one in 2005. That was 13 months, and then one in 2010, and it was 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah, the one I did in 2005 was in it was in my first 6 months. I was in a place called Bakuba, and then my last in the middle of the tour and the follow up or the end of it was like June to June '05 to January '06, and I was in a place called Al Anbar or Ramadi, and so yeah, you got to experience the exactly what the game is for. War isn't always about money at the highest level. It's a drug fix for the evil, man. That suffering and carnage is it's like a high to them in some way. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, well, it might be even a food source in a way, you know, in a trans-dimensional.
Magic working too.
Yeah. There's a lot of, you know, and then like you're saying that area is rich with history and magic and.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. I had a buddy. He was he seen a demon underneath a bridge over there in Iraq. He was with the Tennessee National Guard, and he was in a tank or a Bradley. And in a tank or a Bradley, you can have guys standing outside, and the gunner or the tank commander can, you know, have half of his body exposed or get back in because he needs to look at the night vision for where the weapon is pointed, right? And he under his thermals with the either the Bradley or the tank, he zoomed in, and there was literally a demon's face in the bridge, underneath the bridge, like just appearing out of nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah. He was just like, and my friend go, and well, hell, I have a friend that seen Bigfoot in Fort Carson. That was a crazy story. Yeah. And then the cat dude, the cat creature in Fort Benning, that was a cool one too. Anyways, I don't want to get off topic, but yeah, so
Dude,
huh?
Cat creature?
Yeah, like a cat man.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Catman.
Yeah, Benning.
What can Catman do?
I don't know. I'm just giving a name of what he described it. It sounded like a cat man. Is the best way I could describe it.
Wow. Like
It's been surprising.
weird cat.
Genetically engineered man-cat hybrids that the army be experimenting with, you know.
Yeah, what's your read on super soldiers? Is that just BS, or did you get any like inklings that did you see like special brigades of like weird big dudes that are, you know, suspicious that might have been super soldiers?
In my opinion, super soldier is just a bullshit word for guys that were sexually trafficked as kids, in my opinion. But when it comes to super soldiers, I will say that I have friends who excelled in the military, and when they had chances to try out for Delta Special Operations, they ran into guys that were like their recruiter, or, you know, like the military they say is a small place, but just to run into somebody, meaning they've been watched the whole time as their progress, you know? Mm. So I've seen that, but like some Superman freaking jacked up dude on friggin' HGH and having a machine gun, you know, surgically attached to his arms and shit. No, I hadn't seen none of that. I tell you what, I have seen a bunch of dummy dogs following their orders and raping the earth because they're told to, because they were following orders. That's the super soldiers I seen. Superstar short bus super soldiers, what I seen.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that aspect of evil is like the lack of following your will, or the true will, if you want to go that way, if that's divine will or whatever, and those in line together, that is evil because you're.
Well, a lot of people will say it's even Crowleyan, but I mean, if you have a balanced mind and you are able to accept, chew out the hay and spit out the grass or whatever they call it, if you're able to focus on that, I mean, that was some true statements of some of the Crowley teachings of, it's an archetype of free will, He's just showing you what his choices were in life.
Well, I think there's a somewhat of a misconception on that aspect that he was talking about with true will, where or just like people saying, oh, you just do whatever you want. It's like, no, it's like actually, if you're not aligned with your true will, then like things go horribly awry.
Mm-hmm. Free will is the main blessing that God gave us, is that art of free will. And if we follow orders, and if it's not free will, it's tyranny, it's oppression. It's that simple, because you're taking free will away from something else.
Yeah, it's a squandering of your gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something about something biblical about it. I don't know for sure exactly what it is, but God gives a man 6 pieces of silver and he buries it in his yard, and he gives another guy 6 pieces of silver and he buys some goats and some crops with it, and he rolls it up into some heavenly blessed prosperity. And the other guy who just buried it in the backyard isn't doing anything with it, and there it sits, shiny and useless.
Yeah, and you're meant to be in this world to be whittled down and built and beaten up until you're never going to get to perfection, but you try. And
they're tricking us, trying to trick people into being vacant players. Like
non-responders. Like they don't like it's the video game. They want you to be like, oh no, you are RPG, LARP in your real life, when you should be, because if it is like somewhat like a quasi simulation dream realm or whatever, you are LARPing in a sense, but it's real. So like they like obfuscate that and you go, no, you're gonna live off in another reality that's not, you know what I mean? Like that seems like to be, it says we have remaining 10 minutes in the room.
I'll fix that.
Okay. Well,
I'll
just
upgrade it.
Whoa, that one of the kids?
That was a cat.
Oh, Catman.
Yeah. I hadn't got him fixed yet, and he's the last cat I got. I ain't got him chopped, and I kind of feel bad doing it to him, man. But all my other cats have been fixed or mellow, so.
Yeah, when they're in heat, man, they're just.
Oh, well, I think male cats make more of a mess in the house when they're in heat than females do.
Oh, for sure. I've seen it.
Then I got my husky right here.
Yeah, I actually last time you were on the show, Jonathan, and I was going to ask. I think you guys were kind of like. I think Jerk was kind of like he was a bit hammered, so it got a bit wild. But I was going to ask in the chat. Have you heard, because you brought up like Michael Aquino, and I was wondering if did you have any like run-ins with people that were part of like the Nine Angles, that whole thing? I mean, you aware of this?
No. I don't think I was at that level, because I didn't even get a top secret clearance. My clearance was mopping floors, burning shit, sitting in a friggin' tower for hours, go walk a whole bunch of miles in a city with all this silly shit on you. I didn't ever get to that level, but I will say I have encountered PSYOP units, but it's kind of low key, and you don't really know what they're up to. But at like that type of level, no. Never seen anything. I always say I always had a weird vibe with the pastors or the chaplains in the military. To me, it always felt odd that somehow they're the masters of all trades, and I just thought that was kind of cheap. You know what I mean?
Interesting. So, what was this this thing you were playing earlier? Can we talk a little more about that? With
Well, I can't. It won't do it justice to give a synopsis because I haven't even finished the whole thing. I just listened to about 10 minutes of it when we started this because it was so intriguing. Every time had to back out, I'd go hit play on it. But apparently, she was just saying that it's someone who has a targeted individual page, and she's pretty much states that there's an artificial intelligence interface that's manipulating everything, and that maybe this, and she talks about the bloodlines and how it's Israel to Rome, and then I would add on Rome to Switzerland. In my opinion, you want to point fingers at one nation. If you had to pick one, I'd say probably the Swiss are the big. I mean, look at the Bitcoin thing. Look at the Internet Safe website. What is it? It's all Swissyland, right?
Yeah. There was a lot of Nazis that fled there. They don't want to talk about it either.
All the Nazis were all Swissies. We had them here. What do you think General Custer was? He was a Swissy.
Yeah. They're a little like, oh, we don't play.
Eisenhower was a Swissy. Trump's a Swissy. Trump, right. Eisenhower, Schwarzkopf. They're all Swissy, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's up with Switzerland, man? What's going on?
Vladimir Putin. He's a Swissy too. He went to Swissy college.
So they just got us all like chasing our tails, going, oh, it's this place, it's that place, and it's always been the Swiss, huh?
Yeah, the Israel is Switzerland's or the Vatican's red herring. To the Vatican, they use the Israeli extremists because they always think, we're gonna win, we're gonna get the guy, and they always like they allow their ego to get the better of them, right? But they're just the red herring, and behind every affluent Jew is a Catholic, anyways. If you research that, they all servitude to Switzerland because that's where all the money comes from.
True that.
And who guards this Vatican? Swiss guards, right? Why is it that there's a Geneva Convention? Why are they the architects for what is good and bad for war? Why are we picking Geneva? Why is CERN in Switzerland? These are just questions I have.
True. And why do they have so many pocket knives there?
Right. That's right. And fantastic watches too. I mean, Clock Shavings is Tracy Twyman's book, and it's about the name Clock Shavings is it's a reference to Swiss witches that they would because clocks were so valuable and so important, they would shave off a little piece of it and then throw it into the river, and they would say, just as this shaving will never make it back onto this clock, my soul won't make it up into heaven.
Yeah, isn't like the cuckoo clocks and all that? Isn't that like a Swiss invention? Like, am I like making that up in my mind, or?
I think you're right.
What is coming to mind is Zodiac watches, and it has correlations to the Zodiac killer. A lot of special operations back in the Nam era liked Zodiac watches in the 60s. And Zodiac watches were made in Switzerland.
So the Swiss are obsessed with time, so they must be like Saturn worshippers.
Yeah, or Cronus.
Yeah, Kronos. Yeah, like they're just. Yeah. Maybe there's just
They're pharaohs. They're all the pharaohs. The Templar, the pharaohs. That's and even if you wonder why some of the Nazis left to Argentina, it's because Argentina, the Alps of Argentina, was almost identical to Switzerland. So they moved there. They got. Anyways, yeah, I'm chattering too much. Let me hit my bowl.
Yeah, chatter along. You're the
Sean Ross. Sean Ross. Do you know Sean
Sean
Ross?
Ross. Yeah, Sean Ross is a former Rhodesian. He's a SADF veteran. Like fought in the Angola War, man. Like in South Africa.
He's a cool dude.
Dude. If I could get him, yeah, he's had his daughter abducted. He's been homeless his whole for a while. Huh?
Yeah, I think I emailed with him last year a little bit, and I was trying to get him to interview, but he was homeless at that point.
Yeah, man. I wish there's a way I could offer something to Sean. You know?
Thinking about that. Maybe we could hit up some of our friends over there in Europe to, so we could send him some money to go meet up and give him some, I don't know, a hotel room for a night so he could take a shower in the room or whatever.
Hey Jim, you think honestly Sean Ross would probably like to be in America, or do you think he enjoys poking Switzerland in Europe?
Yeah, I think he enjoys poking it. I also like being close to it and amongst it. It kind of gives power to his sort of guerrilla style, view.
Talk about multilingual. That guy can speak just about any language, man.
I'm having trouble getting into my I'm trying to upgrade this thing to pro, and
are those your goats?
Yeah, those are the goats.
You leave your goats in the house like dogs?
For now, yeah, I don't have their spot set up yet.
Are they potty trained or they just go?
Kinda. They've got I've got a spot with some puppy pads and then a bunch of straw on it. It's their little house, and they pretty much pee like the big mama. She pees like every time I feed her right afterwards, and so you kind of know when they're gonna go, and they like doing it on the ground and in dirt as opposed to on like the floor. So I've got like a big pot with dirt in it, and they hop up on the pot and then piss on that.
That's pretty smart
in the house. So yeah, sometimes they do pee on the
are they just asking for attention the whole time? Is that what